All righty. Well, we are allegedly live, I guess. Let's take a look. Check the old YouTube stream to see how we're doing. I really do have to do something about the lighting. I realize that I'm like awash in fucking orange. Let me see if I can take the a little less intense there. Sorry, but my blue lights that I usually have behind me went out, so I have to get some fresh lighting to balance everything. Yep, the stream is up. It's running. I apologize for that extended little fucking stumble there. Anyway, the usual Twitter at Mike Montone, Instagram at Gary_Moyler, Moyler. And of course, the show Sacktap Live. You can find the stream at Mike's Golden Streams on YouTube. And the Savage Sacktap is the audio podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Next week, the night before Thanksgiving, I may pop on and just do something quick at some point. But I'm probably not, I'll be with my family, so I probably won't do a full show. The only issue after that is I am working the following Wednesday, so we may be a little bit light on the content for the 2 weeks to come. So please accept my sincerest apologies. That out of the way. I saw this story. I don't have a whole lot of it's been very calm commuting and everything lately. There hasn't been a lot of bullshit and shenanigans to report to you on. I apologize. It should start kicking up though pretty soon, because this is the time of year when all the homeless start coming in and just setting up shop inside of the Port Authority. So I'm quite sure I will have plenty of homeless guy commute stories to tell in the near future. But for now, right into the news. I saw this story in Michigan. I don't know if any of you out there are coming to me from the Communist Republic of Michigan, but apparently the lawmaker there is pushing a bill where creatine and diet pills would be off limits to Michigan minors under a new bill. They would be prohibited from buying supplements for diet and muscle growth under a new bill in the state house. The proposed legislation, it was introduced. This is M Live reporting, introduced last week by State Rep Erin Burns. Of course, it's a chick. Democrat from Dearborn, targets weight loss. By the way, this is great, because as I'm reading this copy, underneath, right underneath the paragraph, is an Ozempic ad. It's just, I just saw a bunch of obese adults dancing around the screen, celebrating the fact that they will soon no longer be obese thanks to Ozempic. But the proposed legislation was introduced, and it targets weight loss and muscle growth supplements that experts say can lead to body image issues, eating disorders, and health problems. If it was only health problems, if you're going to tell me that you were going to ban teenagers from buying potent stimulants, I really wouldn't have a huge problem with that. There's a degree to which it's probably a good idea. Although, I can't tell you, again, not a good idea, but back in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was the jam to get cranked up on ephedrine or whatever over-the-counter stimulant you could get your hands on before a high school football game. That shit was good. Fucking Stacker and Ripped Fuel. God bless them. Because not only Not only would your fast twitch would be so much faster, you'd be just laser fucking focused. Oh, the good old days. But probably not a good thing for teenagers to take, not understanding dosage and whatnot. So that I would understand. But when we're talking about supplements that for muscle growth and blaming them for body image issues and eating disorders, first of all, supplements for muscle growth could be used to help people who have eating disorders. So a person who's lost like a significant amount of weight due to anorexia, for example, needs extra calories to get back up to a healthy weight. One thing that you would suggest that they do is supplement their meals with like protein shakes. So this is just misguided fucking. This is suburban. Like, I get it must have gotten worse, but this is the kind of shit like my mother when she found my protein powder, and I had to hide it because I knew that if I just walked in the house and put protein powder on the counter, she would throw a fit and accuse me of taking steroids because of the stupid fucking Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire. That anything from GNC in the late 90s and early 2000s was treated like a steroid by concerned adults in the suburbs. And so I was like, all right, obviously I'm hiding this shit in the fucking closet. And I came home one day and it was sitting out, and my mother, it was like literally, if she had found a body in there, she would have been less horrified. And I had to literally take a package of chicken out of the refrigerator and point to the nutrition information and just hold them side by side to explain that what I was using was not a drug. Like, this was not bought from some guy in a Gold's Gym locker room with a fucking fanny pack full of syringes. So this has been going on for quite some time, and it's unfortunate. There should be, now that there's so much, like back then there wasn't a lot of knowledge about training and nutrition. We live in such an information age now that you would think that you could, it would be considered like a good thing to teach teenagers, particularly like young athletes who are particularly susceptible to want to go shop at Vitamin Shop or GNC or buy supplements or whatever. They're going through the bodybuilding.com forums or fucking what are they watch the Trend Twins, Sam Sulik. I guess they like all they're very into it's the young generation of gym rats is very into like research based or what have you. So they're into all of this stuff. And then, especially like if you consider the obesity problem in this country as people treat their bodies in such disgusting fashion, you would think that this is the kind of thing you would encourage. You'd be like, hey, this is what a supplement is. This is how you take it. This is how you use it appropriately. This is what it can do for you. This is what it can't do for you. This is what the advertising is trying to sell you. Here's the reality. We could educate kids and create adults who understand how to treat and take care of their bodies. But instead, we have fucking big government trying to come in and stop us from taking amino acids. Amino acids of all the fucking shit out there that kids could possibly be put in their bodies and all the things they're exposed to, the screen time, the Chinese propaganda on TikTok and every other social platform. They're in chat rooms getting fucking cruised by adults, all sorts of shit. We're worried about fucking creatine. We're worried about them trying to get more out of their fast twitch muscle fibers. Incredible. A retailer would face up to $1,000 fine per violation of the bill if passed. The legislation awaits consideration by a House committee. Yeah, this is what a shame. Some supplements named in the bill are creatine, and supposed weight loss aids such as green tea extract, raspberry ketones, Garcinia cambogia, and coffee bean extract. So for not allowing fucking teenagers to buy creatine is hilarious. It's just creatine exists naturally in everything you eat. Like, you can't really OD on creatine. Like, if you tried to OD on creatine, you would just shit your brains out and never want to use creatine again. But, you know, a little creatine is good for your body, good for your brain. I don't know why we would tell teenagers not to use it. Let's see. The green tea, I don't know a whole lot about the these are all stimulants like green tea extract and stuff like that. But that's just like if you go to the Monster energy drink section at any 7-Eleven, there's enough stuff there to send you to the fucking moon. And I don't know that they're using any of this. I know the green tea extract is in like Celsius and that kind of thing, but like I don't think Monster I don't know where they get their caffeine from, but that's what's hot in the streets. The kids are all about the white monsters. Let's see what kind of caffeine is in a white monster. A white monster. It is from guarana seed extract. And caffeine itself. I don't know what what does that mean? Caffeine itself. I don't. So they just made I guess maybe there's just lab generated caffeine, because caffeine itself is very vague. Like that almost sounds like the artist formerly known as Caffeine. I don't understand what they mean there. But yeah, the white monster is that is the one that all the kids like. They're all about the white monsters. I think Celsius is for millennials because it's been marketed as like a healthy, sporty energy drink. I'm sure it's still poison, but they've got us all convinced. And then Red Bull is like, that's like elder millennials and Gen X, like a nice Red Bull. Reminds us of the back in the days when there was Bud. They were first experimenting with alcohol energy drinks. Where the millennials are the alcohol energy drink generation. We were drinking fucking Jaeger bombs, Red Bull vodkas, and Bud E. And then Bud E was awesome. I had a lot of fun drinking Bud E. And then it just got discontinued. It was very disappointing. Like it was like you could never reach that fucking energy and booze peak again that Bud E created. Because Red Bull vodkas were a little too jittery. Jaeger bombs were a little too disgusting. But I'm an Italian guy from New Jersey, so there was a period of time when I did have to do Jaeger bombs every time I went out. And then the Four Loko renaissance occurred. And for a brief moment in time, it was just completely unregulated. You would go into a store and you would buy a Four Loko, and it had like the caffeine of 2 Monsters and like several shots of vodka, and you would just get fucking cranked up. And there were just dudes walking around every college campus, every party town, every boardwalk, just jacked up on fucking Four Loko, and nothing good was going to happen. But it was so much fun. It was a wonderful time in our lives. I remember getting in, I was stationed out in Quantico at the time, and we'd get released at 5 on a Friday, and it was a 5-hour drive up to Atlantic City, and we'd grab a bunch of, it wasn't Four Loko, it was Juice, Joose, and everyone except for the driver, thank God, was getting fucking cranked on Juice. And then we'd hit the casino floor, and we would act like we were the guys from Entourage, because it was the era of the douchebag, and we were having a lot of fun, leaning into the stereotype. But again, Big Brother doesn't want that for us anymore. They don't want us to experience that kind of joy. Yes, certainly. I absolutely remember Sparks. If I couldn't get my hands on a Juice, I would absolutely get down on some Sparks. Sparks did not taste very good. When you drank a Sparks, you knew what you were getting yourself into. Not that Juice tasted wonderful. Like, I get a headache just thinking about drinking a Juice right now. But Sparks were fucking bad. Philly Fathead, Semper Fi, brother man. Brother man. The purple monster edges out the white. I don't know if that is a penis joke, but if not, pretend that was the intent, because that's a good penis joke. Cherry Cola Celsius is something else. Yeah, I agree. I like a nice orange Celsius. Grape is very good. I like all the Celsiuses except for the stupid fucking Vibes and the Fizz Free. I like a little fizz. Carl Stone, good to have you here. 420. Angelo, Shane Silent Bob. Comedy podcast clips. Howdy. Good to see you. Monday morning mowing with Mike. Bang rain. 300 milligrams of caffeine. Yes, I think I was on a bang when I popped my bicep. Actually, yeah, bang was. I got it. I went through a serious bang phase during the pandemic when the gyms opened back up. That was my go-to. But yeah, let the kids have their gains. That's what I say. So Epstein watch. Oh boy, here we are. I guess the bill is on the president's desk, and if Schoolhouse Rock taught me anything, that means that it is a signature away from being codified. Yeah, so the Epstein files will be released within 30 days. Now, the cynic in me says that these will be heavily redacted files. They will use some kind of loophole, some sort of, I believe if there's an ongoing investigation, they can withhold things that could jeopardize the investigation. They'll find something, right? All government is a bunch of lawyers using rules to try to, leverage each other and get in and out of situations and get things to their advantage. So you have to. It feels too anticlimactic that the president just signs it and then releases it. Like, I feel like we are in for more build up. The can will be kicked slightly farther down the road. That is my initial thought on all of this, is that even when we get it, we're not getting it. And obviously, all sorts of stuff has been coming out. There are a lot of memes about the president perhaps filleting someone allegedly named Bubba. Is Bubba Bill Clinton? Is Bubba not Bill Clinton? Does Bubba even exist? Did this even happen? Is this so? Because you have to remember, like, some of the emails that they released were about doing things to, to blackmail people. So if you are in the business of blackmailing people, it also wouldn't be, out of the realm of possibility for you to just create some fake email traffic about some shit that happened. Who knows? There's a lot of intrigue here, and it's fun because it's the holidays. You're going to be going to a lot of gatherings, and you go to these things, and I always use the high school reunion as an example, but it's anything. It's a Christmas party. You're getting dragged to whatever. You got to see, these people over here and this and that. And, you find yourself backed into a lot of what are you up to conversations. And I don't want to very rarely do I want to hear what anyone is up to. Maybe if someone's in the middle of like particularly acrimonious divorce and they want to talk about it at a party, that could be kind of interesting. Or if there's some really good tea, but otherwise, most people don't have anything interesting to say. Now we can talk about which very powerful men and perhaps women were flying to a billionaire's island to have sex with teenage sex slaves. That is it's better than everything. And I feel like this is definitely going to be a bipartisan thing. This is going to hit I think that this is going to be in every sector of elite society. Sports, probably. Look, I'm a Cowboys fan, but if you tell me that Jerry Jones fucking made a stop, like I wouldn't be stunned. I'd be willing to hear out the allegations. Hollywood, we already know they were molesting everybody. I'm sure they were going over there. They all knew each other. And then you get into, finance, probably some restaurateurs. It could be anybody. It could be you. It could be you. It could be you. It could be you. You could have molested a teenager on Jeffrey Epstein's island. Yeah, who knows? Maybe your father. You don't know what he was up to. He took all those business trips. He worked in finance. Who's to say? But I guess 30 days minus whatever's redacted. I guess some people already suffering the consequences. I guess this Larry Summers from Harvard. He's going to continue teaching at Harvard, I guess, but he's stepping back from public life after emails between him and Jeffrey Epstein surfaced. He says he's deeply ashamed of his actions and recognized the pain they caused. Take full responsibility for my misguided decision to continue communicating with Mr. Epstein, he added. So this is an odd apology, right? Because he's saying he's apologizing for continuing to communicate with Epstein. He's taking responsibility for his decision to communicate with him. He's not copping to any naughty behavior. What else did he say? Oh, here we go. In one missive, like the worst thing that they have on him is that he's kind of weird, like not like, I don't know if weird with it. He's just a fucking dork that's not good at wrangling puss. In one missive, Summers joked that women were less intelligent than men. I observed that half the IQ in the world was possessed by women, without mentioning they are more than 51% of the population, Summers wrote. What a Harvard dickhead joke that is. Like, what a smug Harvard joke, something you'd quip over a snifter of brandy inside of like at the Harvard Club, wearing a cardigan with a Harvard patch on it, fucking chuckling with your pipe in one hand, and a tufted leather couch. In another online back and forth in March 2019, Summers asked Epstein for romantic advice. Well, the guy was surrounded by women. I didn't want to be in a gift-giving competition while being the friend without benefit, Summers told Epstein while discussing his pursuit of a woman, adding that she must be very confused or maybe wants to cut me off, but wants professional connection a lot, so holds to it. So he was just getting sugar daddied by some chick, and he figured he'd ask old Jeff Epstein if he had any advice. Interesting. Yeah, and they have a picture of him here. It's this Larry Summers, James Staley. I don't know who that is. Epstein. Bill Gates. Bill Gates in this picture standing right next to Epstein. Epstein is wearing loafers with jeans. And frankly, most people, that would be the most disturbing thing about them, is that he's going sockless with loafers and a pair of jeans. That's the thing about, that might be the thing about, other than the other stuff, that's the thing about Jeffrey Epstein that makes me the most uncomfortable, is that he wears loafers with no socks and jeans. I don't like that look. But there he is hanging out with presumably his good friend Bill Gates. All right, so that's all they say. There's more. He wrote, do the Russians have stuff on Trump? Summers wrote, today was appalling even by his standards. Summers even asked if Trump was a cocaine user a month before the president defeated former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this guy he went to the island and did a lot of molesting, but it feels like he's just like he's a dork, and he has like Twitter Democrat political views. Like he has like 2016 Twitter Democrat political views. Before they started championing the assassination attempts back when they just thought he was a jerk. And then yeah, I don't know. Maybe again, anyone in his orbit is suspect, and we shall see. We shall see. They say they're coming out. So we wait with bated breath and eyes wide open and arms wide open. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Loafers with jeans is a horrific look. I'm just I'm reading comedy podcast clips. I will take your word for it. That is fascinating. Very, very interesting. Conrad Murray. What a name. Anyway, I wanted to get to this story. This is a complete, not a complete departure, actually a perfect segue, I think, if we're being honest. Because who could afford an island full of teenage sex slaves but the rich and powerful? Who could afford to engage in sniper tourism but the rich and powerful? Sarajevo siege survivors call for justice over sniper tourism. So I had wanted to do this story last week, and just kind of ran out of time, ran out of steam. And apparently, and I don't know that this is proven, or if there's how strong the evidence is, but a report came out that wealthy Westerners were paying to hunt human beings, including children, in Sarajevo during the 1990s. And I am not an expert on what was going on over there. I just remember growing up, there was constantly footage on the news of Eastern Europeans ethnically cleansing each other. I would like to read up on it. I believe so. Rob Riggle, the comic actor, was a Marine Corps officer, and I believe he did a deployment over there when he was on active duty. But the siege of Sarajevo, I've seen a lot of like clips of people talking about that, and they talk about like you couldn't cross the street. There were just snipers posted up. Anyone who stepped out, they were just fucking picking off, and they were picking off like a few people a day. And they, women, children, men, old people, whoever. And now it's coming out that perhaps some of the snipers who were doing this were tourists, people who had paid money. Apparently, there are reports of a sniper tourism business that boomed during the Bosnian War. And this is journalist and novelist Ezio Gaffizzini filed a legal complaint over claims that Italians and other foreigners had paid leaders of the Bosnian Serb forces to visit the city and fire at civilians. They allegedly paid as much as $90,000 to take part in the makeshift human safari zone, with extra payments supposedly made for a chance at killing children. I mean, that is a very 1990s idea. Like, this does have the feel of some kind of 90s movie. They would do this, where there's a very nefarious looking European gentleman, speaks perfect English but with just sort of a vaguely European accent, and he's preparing to go on this safari. And black turtleneck, of course. The black turtleneck was an instant indicator of villainy in the 1990s. Yeah, you can see him going to the airport, sipping a cocktail on the plane, and then landing, and getting into a Humvee and getting into position with a sniper rifle. And then you'd hear the shot, and then the next thing you know, you would just see like a weeping mother, and then you would hear another shot, and then it would cut away to some other scene. So we can certainly see this going on. And look, again, what we're learning about the rich and powerful over the years is that they do like to do fucked up stuff. There seems to be something about having seemingly unlimited resources that triggers people to want to do wild things, whether it's like alter society or alter the environment, or completely change the course of a technology, and do a bunch of weird sex stuff, whatever. We shouldn't be shocked if this is true. Zamil Hodzik, founder of the Sniper Alley project documenting wartime crimes during the war, supports the new probe. And this is a very bold stance that he took. He slammed anyone who would take part in sniper tourism as a killer and a terrorist. And yeah, so, that's almost a good way to think of it as a terrorist. Remember when ISIS had taken over Syria and Iraq, and all of these European teenagers were going to the Middle East and joining ISIS and doing these executions and whatnot. This is very much along the same lines. They were doing they called it the gangster jihad, where they would pose like fucking gangsters, and they'd be iced out with nice cars and AKs and whatnot. And the LOL jihad, where they would make memes about executing infidels. It was like a spring break for them. So there is sort of a history of this. So again, we shouldn't be shocked if this is real. The human safari was allegedly maintained by Radovan Karadzic, the former Bosnian Serb leader who was found guilty of genocide and other crimes against humanity in 2016. Yeah, I think is it Karadzic? It's one of those guys. There's this chilling video of him meeting a bunch of people who eventually, I forget what the sides were. It was like Serbs and Muslims and Croats. But there was one group that was being ethnically cleansed. And like, there's a video of him like meeting them and giving them like this very, very menacing speech, basically telling them to like, that they need to, fucking leave now. And then I think they were executed a short time later. Yeah, just absolutely fascinating. You wonder how you would have gotten in touch with the people who were running the business, because they didn't have like Craigslist back then. Like, even if you were a wealthy, European businessman or whatever, like, where is your connection to a Serbian warlord? Like, that is very curious. Like, and you wonder how that happens. Like, it may be something as simple as, you're a very wealthy man. You own a bunch of warehouses all over Europe. Part of getting trucks to and from your warehouses involves having to pay off these fucking warlords who are holding the roads hostage. So, you make a couple bribes, couple payments, couple, hey, thank yous, and you kind of, it is a business after all, right? They have sort of an interest in, if as long as you're paying and everything, kind of maintaining a copacetic relationship with you. And look, if we're in the business of making money here, I should let you know, Mr. Wealthy Industrialist, that for a few more shekels, if you would like, you can come to Sarajevo and execute a child in front of his mother at a distance of up to a mile, depending on the rifle you select. So if you happen to be interested. Really, really a fascinating slice of humanity. It's amazing how some people spend their fucking time. I was out driving around my neighborhood the other day, and there were, not the other day, but probably like, it was about 6 weeks ago or so here in Jersey City. They had like the world's biggest Pokemon Go thing, where they were all, I don't really know what the fuck it was, but they were all walking around looking for Pokemon Goes. And some people do that with their time. Other people do sniper tourism. And you'd always heard rumors about this going on, like people like, yeah, and you can Thailand, you can pay to go and like kill a man. That's what they do with child molesters. And you never knew if it was true, but who knows? I'd be very interested. I do want to learn more about that war though, because they don't pull punches over in that part of the world. Like they will go fucking medieval on your ass. They do not. They do not give their enemies any quarter in Eastern Europe. So. Comedy podcast clips. Did he talk specifically about the about Sarajevo murder tourism? I'm very very curious about this. If you can drop a link to that book in the comments section. I am of course familiar with The Most Dangerous Game. That is it was I think a short story or something like that about a bunch of people being hunted on an island. And it's sort of been parodied over and over again. In The Simpsons and wherever else they do these things. Yeah, it's a very interesting concept, an interesting idea. And of course, it's I think interesting to the human psyche in general. What is that fucking what's the Asian one that they where they kill them all? That's not the Hunger Games. What what I'm talking about? They all wear the track suits and whatever. You know what I mean. You know which show I'm referring to. Thank you. Squid Games. From the fucking peanut gallery out there. Anyway. This story did not surprise me. And it's been quite an episode. Not a lot of cheerful talk, especially if your name is in the Epstein files. But we are not wrapping up on a pleasant story either. Young tourist dies during stay at bedbug-filled Bali hostel after alleged poisoning. And I don't know if it was on this stream a few weeks ago or if it was just in conversation that I was talking about how you got to be a fucking weirdo to stay in a hostel. And I know a guy I grew up with actually runs a hostel, and I will sit down in like Central America, I think Costa Rica, somewhere with a lot of palm trees, and it does look like he's having an awesome time. He's got like a full like shaggy ass Rasta beard now, and he's just always hanging out on the beach, hosteling or whatever. But also I feel like the people who stay at hostels, there's something very strange about it. I know Europeans love a hostel. Europeans are they're odd ducks. And I guess, I don't know what the deal with Europeans and hostels is. Like, if you see a European at a hostel, are they just there? Like, they're all trying to hook up, right? Like, they're all sex perverts. Europeans are very, they all, like, I think they like the idea of having sex on the bunk bed with all of the other bunk beds around, like doing it shore house style. Not my preferred way to do it. If when in Belmar or Manasquan, you fornicate where available. But if I'm paying for foreign accommodations, I'd rather not have to do it while some fucking just like some pasty pasty British college student with bad teeth snores on the bed above me, or fucking Tugs's fucking unclipped pud listening to the sounds of a stranger's lovemaking. Because that's what literally, you tell me hostels, and the things I think of are Luigi Mangione, because he stayed in a hostel in New York City before doing the murder. The movie Hostel, and weird sex stuff. And I feel like when you reach a crescendo of weird sex stuff going on, weird sex stuff and people from too many strangers from too many different countries mingling in the same place, I feel like the potential for unexpected dangers becomes very high, because you got just an odd mix of like customs and behaviors, and you can never the vibe never quite settles right. Like that movie, is The Beach, where Leonardo DiCaprio goes to the island and they're all having sex, and then they have to go back for supplies, and he's in Thailand, and like it. I feel like it's kind of that on a micro level. Just this sort of death, a weird death lurks at every turn. Like you never know when, in this case, a poisoning, a mass poisoning might happen. Like a chilling warning has emerged for backpackers after a tourist died and 10 others were hospitalized after a mass poisoning at a budget hostel in Bali. It happened at the Clandestino Hotel in Canggu, where reporters reported falling violently ill after a communal dinner. Chinese tourist Day King Zuhoga collapsed with severe vomiting and chills at the $9 a night accommodation. For $9, what'd you expect? Lobster? It's the old street joke where a guy goes to a $5 lady of the night. He wakes up the next morning and has crabs, so he goes back and says, you gave me crabs, and she says, hey, for $5, what'd you expect? Lobster? Great joke. Killer joke. If you're at a boring like cocktail party or gathering this holiday season, tell that joke. Like if you're stuck in you're cornered in a kitchen conversation with somebody's like annoying relative or whatever, and you really just want to blow up the conversation and get the hell out of there, just tell that joke and walk away. And now if we're stuck in conversation and I tell that joke, it's because you were boring the shit out of me. But yeah, like everything about this opening paragraph sounds like the premise for an M. Night Shyamalan movie, or an overrated HBO series, where it's a bunch of strangers at a hotel, and the poisoning could be intentional or it could be accidental. Who knows, right? If it's M. Night Shyamalan, that fucking weirdo, he's going to go so deep as to, there's this mushroom they've been eating forever on the island, but all of a sudden a different type of mushroom that's poison has morphed itself to look like that mushroom. And the chef didn't know what he was doing when he poisoned all of these people. And oh my God, it's going to twist ending. Or otherwise it could be more nefarious. There could be, someone could be, a cult member. So they just hired a suspicious new dishwasher who's part of a religious cult that requires human sacrifices, and he's poisoning all these people to keep up his end of the bargain. You don't know. But the point is, just get a hotel room at like a Hilton or something like that, where they have a corporate reputation to uphold, and there's staff on hand to address everything, and they probably have medical supplies, and can get you to a hospital very quickly. Don't staying at there's no need to stay at a fucking hostel is what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to hurt my classmate's business because he's a good guy. I used to drink beers with him at a dive bar before he moved abroad. And he does look like he's having a legitimately good time. But the concerned citizen in me says that this kind of shit is more likely to happen if you regularly stay at best case scenario, you may hook up with a European chick while a bunch of other people pretend to be asleep but actually watch. More than likely, you're going to get fucking, groped in the communal shower and possibly poisoned or murdered. So, take that as you will. But a hostel is a hotel with a prostitute included. No, you are incorrect. A hostel, hash bean, is it's like a very shitty hotel where you pay, like $15 and you sleep in almost like a squad bay with a bunch of bunk beds, and you're basically just paying for somewhere to sleep for the night, but not your own private accommodations. My opinion on hostels relates to my hippie tolerance. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I don't tolerate hippies. It depends on the type of hippie, right? Because I know some hippies who are into like, Buddhism and stuff like that, and live a more judgment-free existence. The hippies that I dislike are the ones who are more like the radical, a little closer to Antifa, like the variety that you find in like the Pacific Northwest, like a Pacific Northwestern urban hippie. We probably we don't see eye to eye on too much. But yeah, so going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Again, it'll be a little thin the next 2 weeks because next week is Thanksgiving Eve. Again, I may drop on for a moment at some point on Thanksgiving Eve, but if I do, it will be quite brief. And then the following week, I'm teaching a class that night, so I don't see how I'll be able to even get a pre-record out. So you may not hear too much from me for a couple weeks. So if that is the case, we'll keep our eyes peeled and our ears peeled for more Epstein. Have a lovely Thanksgiving. Remember, don't let your liberal college student niece or nephew dominate the table. You shout them down, get really drunk and shout them down, call them names. That's what Thanksgiving is all about. And have a good time. Philly Fathead, brother man, happy Thanksgiving. Have a good one, guys. Adios, motherfuckers.